to make a follow-up video on the post I made about the physics of the backhand and how you can model the backhand as a pendulum. So first I want to start by showing a magic trick with this candle. I'm going to use it as a pendulum. So I'm going to show how you can use linear motion to create rotational motion. So if you start by just giving the candle a little bit of rotation to start with, then I'm just going to move my fingers up and down, and you can see how the rotation increases. Okay, so you don't actually need a candle for this, you can just use your arms. So if you let your arms hang loosely, you give them a little bit of rotation, then you just start pumping your legs. And really, it's a supernatural movement. What you're doing is that you're pushing down into the ground as your arms are coming down, and then you're not pushing when they're going up, and then you're pushing again. But you don't really have to think about this, it comes natural. So you can actually move a little bit like you were throw backhand. And this seems pretty useless unless you're throwing like a monster hyzer. But actually, most of the good throwers, they use some vertical motion of the pendulum to use gravity actually to help give some extra velocity to their shot. You can watch like Gary comes up really tall with Calvin Heimberg, and some of the other players like lifts up. Instead of going super tall, he falls down pretty low. So in either case, you're creating momentum in the vertical direction downwards, and then you're applying force up to increase the speed of the rotation of the pendulum. But anyway, if you were to completely just throw in the horizontal plane and ignore this thing, the same thing still applies. You're starting the rotation by rotating your hips, first part of the pendulum, and then your shoulders, and then your elbow, wrist, and the disc pivoting is the last part of the pendulum. So in the same manner, as you can increase the rotation of the pendulum by pushing off the ground in this direction, you can also push off the ground in this horizontal direction to increase the speed at which the pendulum swings in a horizontal plane. So you can try just doing this compared to just flinging your arms the exact same speed and pushing off the ground. You're going to feel how they accelerate as you do that. And really, that is the purpose of bracing in the backhand. So if you're coming over the top like this, you're missing out on a lot of power. And one last thing about the pendulum. If you are bracing in this direction, pushing, you're moving straight into your leg, your weight is moving in this direction, then actually your release point is going to be somewhere over here. This is where, as the last part of the pendulum, this pivot has finished, it's going to be somewhere over there. And that's why if you're standing like, this is how you're going to end up once you have shifted your weight, and you can see this. You're never going to, this is like a dynamic position, you're never going to stand like this and throw from here. You're going to end up like this, and you're going to throw actually that way. So if you want to throw in some direction, you can't plant your feet in the same direction as you want to throw. You need to plant your feet offset, but you can't move in this direction, or otherwise you would fall over. You're moving straight into your plant foot, pushing off the plant foot, accelerate the rotation, and then holding on to the disc and let it just release. So move and push. And obviously my backhand form is not as far from perfect, and you're going to follow through, but I don't want to hit my hand, so I'm not going to stop like that. Yeah, anyway, that's all I want to say, I think. Yep, use the pendulum and power the pendulum.